just about to say. Are we ready? Are we? Oh, hold on. Let me get rid of that text. Hold on. Takemi, darling, you need to be a little quieter. Okay, where's the text at? Get out of here. There we go. Okay, hello! Hello, 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 hello. Okay, we I think are about ready. I'm gonna post a link in the chat. And I can do that because I'm the streamer, and that's awesome. So for music, you guys, whoever is here for however long, that is a link to DougDoug's playlist for streams. So I'm fairly certain that a majority of the things on that playlist are all stream safe. And if not, it'll just get the VOD muted. That's not a big deal. Like, that's kind of fine. So while we are going about just kind of screwing around for however long, feel free to peruse the playlist and tell me what songs to play. Oh, hello, Blue! Hello, hello! We are getting absolutely nothing of any value done today. That's actually not true. We're gonna look at some stuff. I want to show off the current progression of Goose's model today, because I think that we made a giant leap in quality, and you can really tell that I've started putting a lot of effort into it. So we're gonna look into that, and then we're gonna do the banner art for YouTube. Oh, you're hungover from you had 2 drinks! It's fine, but we're just gonna take it easy because my leg is still a little rough. It's not bad. Like, I was able to walk around pretty normally today, which is why we're streaming. But I don't want to, like, strain it. So there's any number of things that could potentially ruin the stream today. We're gambling on stream. So there's a chance that if the storm that's, like, been threatening to blow in all day, if that shows up and knocks my power, then obviously stream is dying. If that happens, we're probably not gonna try and reload the stream. If that happens, it happens. That's the risk we're taking today. So if I lose power for some reason, yeah, womp womp. I guess that's just stream end at that point. Then the other problem is if my leg gets to be too bad at any point, then I will have to call it quits for the night and go rest it. It shouldn't be too bad, but I'm trusting you guys to check in every so often and make sure that my posture's not totally fucked up, because I go into shrimp mode when I draw, and I just like warp myself into these weird, awkward positions, which I'll be more conscious of since I'm making sure my model is tracking my movements, but it still might happen, and that's what screws with my leg. So we'll see. She did not like me rubbing my nose just then. The hell was that? But yes, so we have the YouTube playlist that is pinned for looking through various music, and whatever music we want to play at any point in time, we can grab from there. That's a very trusted source. I mean, I don't know how fully trusted because things change. But yeah, feel free. There's like 1,000 songs on there, so I'm sure you'll find at least one that you enjoy. So yes, then we'll look at Goose's model, and then we'll do YouTube art. And then if we're like really feeling it, like we get through all that and we're having a great time, we're still going really good, then maybe, just maybe, we'll think about playing some Paper Lily. But I wouldn't bet on it. So okay. Let's talk about Goose's model. And I'm gonna go through the whole timeline of events with this again. So, this was the original. This is what he presented me with and told me he wanted to do something with. This is rough. So I hit him back with this. I was like, how do we feel about this? We've made a far leap here already. And he was like, okay, yeah, I like that. I'm not sure how I feel about the top, and I like the hair, but I kind of just like the front piece. So I also did the other variation of the top. That's not a huge difference there. But then he hits me back with this. And I'm like, okay, I'm seeing a little bit of the vision starting to come to life here, I guess. Tiny hat's pretty cute. We love a good tiny hat. I'm sad to say that the tiny hat does not make it into the final edition of this girl who still does not have a name. But so we've totally dropped all the long hair aspects, which shocked the hell out of me. Goose, he loves his long hair. It's a whole thing for him. So I was amazed that he was willing to go for the shorter look. He also obviously learned how to fix cleavage proportions. But then I told him, I'm like, okay, what are these sleeve glove things? Those defy physics. We're already defying an awful lot of physics. So, like, what's that? What is it? So then we get to here. What is this? Okay, that's the loading. So now we're here. This is, I got rid of the sleeves. We added this cute little neck piece that kind of connects everything. And we're adjusting at this point. So now, I'm going to take you through some of my concept ideas going forward, and you'll find that we'll get to the finished, or at least, a good spot. Fable 2 vibes. That's fair. She does kind of do that. I think she starts leaning more and more into, like, a fantasy setting the further we get into this. So first I was like, how about a little jacket? Little jacket's pretty cute. And at this point in time, I was using purple to kind of like just signify that that's where clothing is. So I'm like, okay, little jacket's cute. I like little jacket. But I'm like, okay, let's think though. What about like a gypsy sleeve thing going on? And these are terribly drawn, but they got the point across. And it's like, okay, that's kind of cute. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how I'm feeling about that. But we're looking at that, and we're looking at a couple of different things, and at some point, he says some words to me that spark everything. And he sat there and he looked at her, and for some reason he was like, I don't know, she's kind of reminding me of the Cinco de Mayo sugar skulls. And I was like, oh, what have you done? So then we're sitting there, we're like, okay, so now she's got like this bluish purpley skin tone. We're talking about the initial color pass, and now we've got the teal color scheme going, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, ooh, you know what this beautiful teal reminds me of? Hades. And he's sitting there already thinking in terms of like the sugar skulls. And I'm like, okay, we're not gonna lean into sugar skull too much. Like we can totally, however, we were already talking bartender. Why not bartender of the underworld? And then we get somewhere. Now we're cooking. And I was like, okay, let's get, so this is the original, like, revised sketch. I'm like, now she's got some actual detail going on. We've got the tiny hat look in place of, like, these little feathers and flowers and stuff. I'm digging this. And I'm like, let's start talking about some colors. And I'm like, okay, this is a color palette. This is an aggressive color palette. Especially if we're talking, like, that dark skin tone. This color palette is intense. I'm like, okay, we're getting somewhere with this. It needs some tweaking. It needs a little bit of adjustments. But are you ready to see just exactly where we take this? So keep in mind, this is the original. And this is like the original. But now now we're at this. And now... No. Now we're at this. That's right. I gave her white outlines. And I told him, I was like, we need to find a way to make these white outlines on the actual model. They look so good. Like, I don't know who she's reminding me of anymore, but I fucking love this. Like, she is ever so slightly eerie. She's still insanely sexy. She's got almost like the Harley Quinn-esque, like the asymmetrical color palette. But yeah, Goose gave me this, and I brought it to this. Yeah, the checkerboard look, yeah. And oh my god, I love her. And I told him, if you don't keep this white outline look on her, I'm using it for something. Because this is fucking gorgeous. I adore this, like, whole everything going on. And we went back and forth a lot on a lot of the various colors. We played around with making the boots in orange, having different things colored differently, but we settled here for at least now. And I love her. I love her so much. Because, yeah, she has just gone from I'm a slutty bartender, tee-hee, to sexy mommy underworld bartender. And I love that for her. So, yeah, this is Goose's current design. Oh, that's a whole other reason that I slipped these, like, feather-esque look in. And this is still, like, a rough design, but I slipped the feathers in to give that little subtle nod to it being Goose. Oh, I was pretty proud of myself on that one. But yeah, we'll see. I'm pretty happy with how she currently looks. And, let me really quick, open up, I need the art. So, I believe this is what I left you guys with last time for where we were at on the header art, and we can now close. Oh, hold on, no, I want to keep that. I can no, hold on, save that one too, Jesus. The rest can go away. So I think this is where I left you guys at with, the YouTube banner art. There was one other... Yeah, this is another one. I might have shown off flat color. I'm not sure. So this is where we were at then, and already you can tell us, so just... What is this? What am I looking at here? I looked at a hand and was like, yeah, that looks good. So we've gotten somewhere with this. It's still, like, slightly off. I think I'm not sure. It's not perfect, but I can live with this. And, like, just to be clear, the very sharp fingertips are on purpose. That's just how I draw any of the D&D tieflings, and Soella in particular. So she's always had these very, like, elongated, sharp fingers. Let me see if I can find... Let's look at Soella real quick. Yeah, here, like you can see, she's just got sharp. She's sharp. She's a sharp girl. But so I believe that's where I left it there, and here is where we're at right now. So I've got the skin and the hair at a place that I'm pretty happy about, and absolutely nothing else. And I started playing around with the eyes. There's a layer. My layers are an absolute disaster on this, by the way. Like, I took time to go and save these layers into something coherent, but oh my god, they were a mess too. I'm really bad about my layers. Oh, you can't even see the layers because I'm blocking them. Just know that it's not pretty back there. But so, this is where we're at right now with this. So like this is going somewhere, but there is a layer hidden somewhere in this mess where I started doing this kaleidoscope effect with the eyes, and I don't like it. It needs to go away. It's probably one that's not at full opacity. So where would that be? I'm pretty sure it's under the other layers. I was almost certain that it was like the very bottommost layer. But clearly I'm wrong. Oh, there it is. That's better, I think. I don't think that was doing what I was hoping it would. Because I got this really pretty, like, rainbow effect in the hair. And I was trying to do that with the eyes, and it wasn't doing it. And it's something that something I struggle with Soella or Lullaby or whatever name you want to give her in particular is her hair. Because the color is very, like, wonky. So Lullaby has white hair. Like, you can see in all the emotes, she definitively has white hair. Like, the slightest off pink in, like, things like my model here. And you can see here, it's white. But But the way that I do the glitter effect that I really, really like in hair that, let me see if I can show a different character example. I think I'm gonna have to go through the old Fire Emblem art, and that's gonna be kind of gross to look at, so let me pull it over here. Because the Fire Emblem art is rough. Who shows it off best? Oh, hold on, let me open this one too, because this one actually got it. Marianne shows it off pretty well. So I managed to do this like glitter look in the hair that I really, really, really like. And it's very tricky with Lullaby in particular because white doesn't like to do it. Although, I got this one to do it. How? Tell me my secrets. I need past me from like 5 years ago to tell me what I did here. Because it worked, but it hasn't worked for Soella. For Soella, every time I do this, it comes out as like this pink. Like, I think one of the biggest examples of that is this one, where it's like really pink. And like, yeah, it's fine if it has some pink undertones, but it shouldn't be that pink. And like, you can see it in the card as well. Like, it's so pink. Why is it this pink? I can get it to not be pink. How? But yeah, so that's where we're at there, I guess. This can close. So I just kind of embraced the pink in this. There are so many layers on this alone to get it to this particular shade. There's a lot of depth in this hair right now that I don't think actually needs to be there. That's the skin. So just that is one layer. Then there's another one. And is this just a blank layer? What is this? This isn't doing anything. That's the rainbow. That's one more of pink. And then that's like the shadows and the white. And the shadows are drawn on so sloppily because I knew I was going to cover it with glitter. So it's just like there's a mess everywhere on that. It looks great from a distance. And then it's, you know, you cover it in glitter and it's fine. And like, I thought about just keeping it at this, but I felt like that blends too much into her skin. And so then I added on like the other pinks and whites, and that still is just blending really poorly. But then I got the rainbow in there, and I was pretty happy with how that looks. And then I even thought at one point about doing like just the rainbow look. That's the shade. Yeah, about doing just the rainbow. And that on its own actually looks pretty good too, but I think that gives the wrong impression. So we're back to this. And then I've gone very, very heavy on the skin rendering, and it's not super smooth. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't think I typically render quite this this heavily. But I really liked it on the card when I did this one, because I went pretty heavy in on the face, and it ended up not showing all that well because I lightened it a lot. But I want to lean more into that. So that's where we're at with all of that, at least. And now it's just a matter of getting shade on the clothes, the horns, the tail, the jewelry. And then debating if there's anything else that needs to be adjusted here. Like, this text is bothering me so bad. Because, like, it's not a line. Why is it not a line? Why is it doing this? So yeah, that's where we're at with like this whole mess of things, but we'll figure it out. And my awful, awful layers. Jesus. Oh yeah, I thought about doing something like this. But I don't like that it's off center. And I could fix that, but it looks weird when it's not centered. No, just give me the layer, please. So like I could make it center. It blocks my awful hand. So like that's an option. But I like the arch. It matches the arch of the sun. But not when it doesn't arch. So I don't know, we're just gonna hide it for right now. We're just not gonna look at it, okay? Oh yeah, then there's a whole other version I did where I was trying to get it to do it, and it like kinda did, but it also kinda didn't. So yeah, that's where we're at. And I feel like we need at least some change in music. Because it's going to drive me absolutely insane to listen to this song for however many hours straight. You know what? I think Danganronpa is safe. I'm just gonna put on, like, all of the investigation themes. That should be safe. Let's see what happens here. Okay. How's that? Because I can't use these for D&D, and I like them a lot. So we can at least utilize them somewhere. Why do I have a Discord notification? Why? I'm not supposed to. I'm on Do Not Disturb for a reason. Okay, there we go. Oh, I didn't make sure my draw pad was actually hooked up. How smart of me. Alright, hold on. Technical difficulties. Can I plug the USB in on the first try without seeing? Can I? Hell yeah, I can. Alright. Let's get this bad boy on and see if it breaks the stream. Because the same screen that it is recording is now also in my lap. Okay, pen. Gotta love that little pop. Alright. We're just gonna, like, get rid of the keyboard. No, we're not, because if I need a mod, we're not getting rid of that. Okay, keyboard is over there. It's in reach, but out of the way. And we're gonna set this up, like, on the desk. This way it's not in my lap, and I can't shrimp. Okay, can you guys see? Yes, awesome, it works! Look at that, guys! Things just work! Hi! It just works! Is this a new layer? Cool, I can just delete that. Why's there pink up there? I don't know what this pink up here is about. I don't know if that's supposed to be there. Hold on. It would appear so. It looks like it's part of the background. That's fine. Speaking of which, it's time for the background to go away. We are now in the void. Only I need the void to actually be a smidge lighter. There we go. Okay, are you guys enjoying the void? It's got style. It can also dance. Yeah, now we need void. Some even say that the void does in fact have tearaway pants. Okay, I have to find in my mess of layers. Okay, this is the clothes. I can see it. So let's just start there. So I don't claim for my art to be, like, correct. Or, like, my process or methods to be good. Just to be clear. Like, I'm already screwing it up, actually. Let me find my lines. Where are my lines? Lines? Hello. There we go. Oh, god damn it. Does anybody know? Oh yeah, okay, hold on. Mini side adventure real fast. Yeah, no, just get that shit out of here. Okay, that hopefully won't pop up ever again for the rest of my life. Okay, is that all of our red? That should be all of the red. Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna chill. We're gonna get very little actual anything done. And we're just gonna kind of fuck around. Can you please? Thank you. So pretty much all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna first, like, remember how I even like my settings. And then I'm just gonna add in, like, darker highlighting around. And then I'll go in with like an airbrush and smooth some of this. I want more. You know, Danganronpa did not have to go this hard on a soundtrack for us, and I appreciate them every day for it. And we don't have to worry too much about this being, like, sloppy. Because, like I said, we're gonna go in after the fact and fuck with all of this. We just kind of want, like, a rough outline of where I want some of my shadows to kind of sit. Okay, I did not like that, though. That's so light. Okay. Oh wait, I have a frickin' thing. You forget that this pen that Goose got me actually finally has the dual sides, where it has the eraser on the one half. Let me get my color back. Okay. I'll probably need just a little bit of definition along this collar line. So we'll get some in there. And then probably want a little bit along this area. Okay, this part's gonna be kind of wonky, because the belt is gonna cast a shadow across for sure. And then the sun here is a part of the fabric, so, like, that's just gonna be weird. And honestly, this whole, like, section should have a pretty heavy amount of, shading in there. And then that sun will have reflect the same shading. And I still don't really know what this leg is doing, honestly. I'm not sure how I feel about it and its proportions, but we're rolling with it at this point. Oh, is my stupid? Yeah, okay, that's part of what's going on here. Like, what is this, actually? Now that I'm, like, really looking at these legs, what's going on here? I don't like it. I think we might continue to just say fuck it and roll with it for the sake of just, like, not wanting to deal with fixing it, because it'll be a huge process. So that might just be where we're at. Like I mentioned before, we're not out here to do good things today. We're out here to get shit done. And you can't argue that I'm not, you know, getting shit done. I'm not getting it done well, but it is technically getting done. Let's do some smoothing. I need this bigger. What's happening here? I really don't like it. Like, with a lot of hatred in my heart about that. Like, maybe as I smooth it out and, like, adjust things, I'll learn to like it. But I'm not sure. I don't know if there's any amount of shading and fixing this that'll make me ever feel happy about what's going on here. Let's lessen it through here, and I think I need to get some of that out of there. Just, like, what is happening? There's just an awful lot of wrong here. I feel like I should have not saved this, this particular section for on stream. It's a terrible display of my artistic capabilities. Realized I'm not doing this on another layer. That's a slight problem. You have no idea how badly I wanted to find a way to slip a Danganronpa song into D&D. And I managed to find one. one that I think could maybe, just maybe, make its way in without being too suspicious. But it would have needed very, like, particular circumstances. And if it doesn't play during this, then I will find it and I will play it. Yeah, something is wrong. This just is like, it's too airbrushy, which I know doesn't make a lot of sense because I'm, you know, airbrushing it, but like, something is just wrong. I'm confused. Why is it being like this? Like, I'm gonna make it work. But something is, like, definitively not right here. Is it, like, my pen settings? I'm confused. I feel like it's just not going on very smoothly. Is it, like, do I need a bigger brush? Bigger brush gober, maybe? I'm finding that a lot of times bigger brush has been the issue. So is that it? Is that what you require of me, tablet? Do you just need bigger brush gober? No, bigger brush didn't help there at all. It helped the corner. Okay, what about tiny brush? Does tiny brush make you happy? Okay, tiny brush actually kind of does make it happy. Okay, it's sounding like we need tiny brush. Yeah, okay, tiny brush. Tiny brush is definitely the play. Whoa, where'd we go? Did we run out of music? Hold on. I don't want it auto-playing into random things. Stop it! No, okay, we're good. League of Legends might open. Don't be worried about that. I may or may not have accidentally clicked on it when I was panicking. Hey, hi, League. Please no. No thank you. Get out of here. We are never playing League of Legends on stream. Ever. I don't care what happens. I will never sink that low. I'll play it in my own time, to be clear. I'll play it an awful lot in my own time. But never on stream. See, the problem with Tiny Brush is smoothing these little, like... smoothing these parts. Tiny Brush doesn't do that as well. But I mean, we'll see. feel like it is at least doing better than it was before. Like, this is at least coherent at this point. And now it's just a matter of, like, kind of seeing how much I can force myself to render before I get annoyed. Or, like, think that it's too much. How many different color layers can I get on here before it is just way too much? That's the real question. How are we looking from a distance there? That's, like, really dark. Like, that's pretty damn dark. We're gonna keep running with it, and I can lighten it if I need to. Because I think that the more detail heavy I go, the better, honestly. So, fuck it, we're gonna keep sending it. Really quick, I'm gonna get rid of this bit here. And now if I wanna add a little bit, I can. But, like, it didn't make an awful lot of sense for them to be, just, like, all the way across. Yeah, it doesn't sound like this, this playlist is gonna use the Danganronpa song that I found for D&D. Which makes sense, it's not exactly one of the investigation songs, so it doesn't exactly belong in this list in particular. So I think a potential game plan with this is to, like, really hyper-fixate on a particular spot, detail the ever-loving fuck out of it, and then move on to the next one. I think that's a solid option here. But no, Danganronpa has such a special place in my heart. And the music just hits so hard. Okay, I think we need to brush that. That's too tiny. And, you know, most artists, you know, they kind of know their process, and you watch, and it's this nice, wonderful experience. But here, we're agents of chaos. I never do the same damn thing twice. I'll probably do multiple different methods of shading just in this one fucking drawing. I keep them on their toes, you know? Again, we're not really blending out right here. hit it. You can really see every time I'm tilting my head to look at something closer. I think this was the third game investigation? Yeah. See, I don't think that the third game had as good of investigation music. Like, this just isn't anywhere near as, like, heavy as the other ones. It's not bad. It's just so much softer. Am I wanting those little buttons shaded? They're not even buttons, they're stitches. Do stitches shade? Do stitches shade? Stitches? Do you shade? I don't think stitches shade. Executive decision. Oh, no. Okay. Executive decision. No stitch shade. None of it. Get it out of here. Decided I don't like it. Okay, that feels a little bit better. Now what's going on here is the new question. I feel like every time I get to a new spot on this, I'm looking at it going, the fuck is this? I understand the desire for shadows. I get it. I do. I really do. But that ain't it. We can get some more down here. How about that? We can probably extend it a little. How do we feel about that? I don't like the extended part. Get out of here. Did I just redo the same thing I had before, but like way worse? Yes. Okay, fine. Let me just smooth it. It doesn't need to be that, like, out there. Oh, are you fix back command? Is that a thing that we need? Okay, hold on. There we go. I did a little hop. Let's get into the darker. Is this looking right? I guess. I think in this particular area, it's gonna be way heavier on the lighter shading than the darker, honestly. Okay, and then this is like the revised third Danganronpa investigation. And this hits a little harder than the one before it. You know what I should do? I should do I should definitely do like a Danganronpa character tier list. No, it's just a debate on do I get Goose involved in that? Do I do it solo? Do I get Dare to do it with me despite and like it's just a blind run for her? She gets nothing but like the character appearance. Is it interactive with chat? Like what do we do with that? Like there's an idea there for sure. Now this is set to not interfere with the shading before it. So like if whatever I do here, I can fix the underneath. Actually, I'm gonna put it underneath the other one real quick. There we go. Yeah, see, like this needs big brush. Just like right here and just adjust it to match up. There. That's kind of doing it. I think that there's too much right here. Maybe we can just kind of like smooth it a little bit through here. Then give me back this. And you know what, we're gonna do it on another layer again to be safe. That's the name of the game here with me, is just millions of unnamed layers for every tiny detail that I've got. What's that? We're moving on to the under boob shade. That better get a new layer. We couldn't possibly want to confuse that with a different layer. That would be total anarchy. Make sure it doesn't go above boob. Your boobs are sacred. It is so absurdly important to like make sure that the tits on anything look right. Yeah, under boob is the best layer. But no. Everybody, you gotta be real. Everybody's staring at the titties. That's the way it goes. So you gotta make sure that they look right. Because if they don't, no one's gonna wanna look at the character. They're gonna be like, nah, those tits aren't it. And you're just gonna have to sigh and be like, yeah, I know. I tried really hard, man. Hold on, we need tiny brush. Get tiny brush back in here. Now see, I would probably be able to get more shading detail into this, like, this shirt. That's right, it's on a different layer, which means that it's causing problems! Woo! Okay, so that's why that's doing that. That's fixable. But no, I'd be able to get more detail in this shirt if I didn't make it so, like, tight fit on the character. Because as it is, there's no, like, fabric lines. So, like, it's really hard to add depth when there's no creases to it. I mean, like, we're getting somewhere with it for sure. Oh boy, that's a different layer, isn't it? Yep. But, like, we're getting depth on it. It's just tricky. And then we'll get more in as well as we start adding in more of our lights. Because, like, that's gonna be, like, all of this. You know what should be on another layer? This. And where are my other layers? You see the chaos we're working with? And I have no one to blame but myself, just to be clear. You know what, here, we're gonna go in real quick with just like a guide. Something that'll help us with like our where shade. Where shade be. That's kind of where, and then it'll be like a little bit of that going on. Make that really light. Alright. This will just like pop on and off for reference. Oh, that's too light. Hold on. We gotta ease into that.